Oh, morning. How you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday. It is the 2022 version of November the 10th, I think. And it's also game day! Big game this evening, guys. Big game this evening, but I've already dropped the video yesterday that talks about that one. And you can see it here. But today I want to talk about something that I have been thinking about recently, or literally thinking about this morning, in fact, when I woke up and I read a comment from somebody yesterday who got me thinking about the January transfer window and the predicament that we might find ourselves in. Before we get going on that, guys, if you don't mind doing me a favour, smash the like button on your way in or on your way out of the video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please touch that notification bell button, as all of those things push the content out to more people in the Tottenham community and hopefully will help grow the channel. I very much appreciate all of the people that have already done those things for me, and those of you that are still thinking about it. I'll do my best to convince you. Also, guys, please drop a comment. It again helps the algorithm, but more importantly it helps the conversation. And I love everyone that's been participating. I do try to respond to absolutely every single one. And if you see a heart by your comment, it means that I've at least read it, and I'll try and come back to you and comment if I can a bit later. But the conversation's been fantastic, right? You guys are going back and forth with each other, and then obviously a lot of the time I'm coming in and getting my thoughts on whatever your feedback is. And one of those things happened yesterday. I forget who the commenter's name was. If I can find it, I'll drop it here to give him a reference. But he or she made the good point about how difficult the January transfer window is generally to do business, and that, you know, loans are a waste of money that you run down the contract on. And it got me to thinking about loans, and I looked up the law, and as far as I'm aware, the rules changed. And that this season, any club can only have a maximum of 8 players out on loan at any time. And next season it will be 7, and the season after that will be 6. I think it's on some level in part to do with the fact that they don't want big clubs like Chelsea or Manchester City or whoever that are more commonly found doing this, just buying up all of the great talent that's out there and then just loaning them out to clubs until they develop on somebody else's time, and then they'll just sell them for a profit like a house flip. Now, Tottenham I don't think are doing that with the loaning situation, but I'm pretty sure that we do have a lot of players out on loan, and that may make it difficult to do business in the January window. Look, PARATICI, a lot of people think he's the Don, a lot of people think he's a con, and a lot of people are waiting to see. I'm someone who's waiting to see, but I look favourably more than I look negatively upon his time so far. The players that he's bought for us have generally worked out, I think, and are taking us in the right direction. But in terms of his outgoing business, the vast majority of them have been loans. It's a consequence of, I guess, trying to hold on to valuations that don't reflect current market rates, don't reflect the economy in Europe in football terms, and the impending economy for everybody that's coming. 2023 is going to be a very tough year for everybody. I'm sure 2022 has been a very tough year for nearly everybody as well. But as a consequence of whether it's Daniel Levy trying to maintain values that are unreasonable, or just the fact that there is no desire to buy the players that we're trying to get rid of, the vast majority have been out on loan and then come back every season, which in and of itself is an issue. It kicks the can down the road, and then next summer PARATICI's opportunity cost when it comes to his time becomes larger. He has to spend time again trying to find a new suitor for Tanguy and Ndombele or Harry Winks or Lo Celso. But anyway, on top of that, right, I think from memory, I think he's only sold, 2 or 3 players in his time at Tottenham. I think one of them was Cameron Carter-Vickers to Celtic. I think Stephen Bergwijn was another. I can't think of too many more. Maybe was it Alderweireld who went to Qatar or somewhere in the Middle East. I'm not even sure if that happened under Paratici's watch, but it's very few. And so, as far as I can think, there's at least 7 players on loan right now. Let's go through them. Serge Reguilon is on loan. Destiny Udogie, technically is on loan. We signed him and loaned him back. Tanguy Ndombele is on loan. Harry Winks is on loan. Giovanni Lo Celso is on loan. Troy Parrott is on loan. The young 17-year-old kid whose name escapes me, who's at Portsmouth. I haven't had my coffee this morning, I've just come straight out. He's on loan. That's 7. I don't know if there's any more, but also I'm not entirely sure if the rule around 8 extends to players that are technically like youth team players or under 21 players. I don't know if that's the case, so I'm looking for you guys to steer me in the right direction on this one, because I haven't had the benefit of enough time this morning to go and dig into the rules. But if it is true, let's go with the idea that it is. We have 7 players at least out on loan. Maybe there's 1 or 2 others I'm forgetting about. Then if Tottenham want to bring in 3 or 4 players in January, because we have a full squad, we know that we can't let someone come in until someone goes out. We're going to let Brian Hill go out on loan, but that whole deal fell through for Malinovsky. I think it was going to be in the summer. Japhet Tanganga may have gone out on loan to Milan, which I don't think is going to happen anymore because of the draw to them in the Champions League. But that didn't happen because we couldn't find a replacement. I think we have a full squad of 25, and consequently, we're going to go back. And consequently, I think that anyone that comes in is going to have to replace someone that's going out. But whether we have 7 players on loan, 8 players on loan if I'm forgetting somebody, or even if Troy Parrott and the kid at Portsmouth, why can't I think of his name? If they are considered youth team players and therefore exempt from the rules, then we have 5 players on loan. Are we going to be able to loan 3 players out? Or the maximum we'd be able to get in, even in that best case scenario, the maximum amount of players we'd be able to buy in would be 3, if we can loan out 3 other players. We can't buy 4 players unless we sell somebody or sell 2 people. And like I say, maybe worst case scenario, if those Troy Parrott and the other strikers' loan deals are not factored into youth, then we could only buy in 1 player at the moment. And that's an issue for me, because if it requires us to sell players, then January is really not the window to sell players anyway. And when you combine the fact that it's January, plus the fact that even last January and last summer, the economy in Europe for football players was so thin, and that was when the economy wasn't doing that badly. It was still facing the effects of COVID, but COVID was in the rearview mirror. Currently you still have those problems in the rearview mirror, but right up ahead is a major recession. I hate to be the bearer of a bad posit, guys. I hate to throw things out there that A, I'm not entirely sure about, and B, are negative in their connotation, but I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Does it make it incredibly less likely that Tottenham can go and find the 4 players, the 3 players that we need? I don't think it's a problem about having the money. I think we can find the money if the deals are available. But I'm not entirely sure if the opportunities will necessarily be there because of the limits to our squad and the limits to the rules in which we may have already come close to breaching. But like I say, guys, if any of you are more clued up on this one, if I'm completely way off the mark, then I apologise for wasting your time. Please drop a comment if you know, and let me know how close we are to those limits. And yeah, tell me what your thoughts are. And if you were Levy, what would you do? Would you terminate anyone's contract and take the hit? Would you write down the assets to next to nothing so you can get them off the books? How do you make space for new players if you can't loan too many more out? And selling players at any market level will be incredibly difficult given the economic environment in which we find ourselves. I'm going to leave it there, guys. As I say, please drop a comment. I'm looking for you to educate me on this one as best as possible. I will love you and leave you, and wish us all a very happy evening this evening, and try and have a relatively stress-free evening where we make it through to the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Wouldn't that be nice, just for a change? Also, let me know your prediction on the score. Do you think Tottenham will find a path in 90 minutes, or does it go all the way like the Brentford game did last night? Love you guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Like, share and subscribe, and as always, guys, as always, bye bye.